Among those industries facing job cuts right now, ports, bakeries, travel agencies, gig workers, and entry-level employees also at risk of layoffs today in the face of all of this. Joining us right now is Milken Institute Asia fellow Curtis Chin. Curtis, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. Your reaction to all of this and the response. Last night, it wasn't just a travel ban that the president talked about, but it was small business lending, paid leave for sick workers, and a potential deferral of taxes as well.
Yeah, I watched the president's speech actually much later than it actually aired, and I saw it really as a step forward. But the reality is when we think about all that we're going through, there's really a lack of facts, a lack of data, and that's really driving the market volatility, the fears. But, you know, we got to work with what we have. Clearly, the focus on small business is an important one. In the U.S., as in most countries, most of the jobs are really in small business. So we can talk about what Twitter and other big companies are doing, important. But we need to focus on helping our small business people here.
So what kind of clarity do you think you need and the markets need in terms of getting their arms around the expectations part of this? Because this market is selling off largely because we don't know where this is going. I mean, once we have clarity, I think we'll get stability.
You know, absolutely. The uncertainty is driving this volatility. Again, I think when I looked at the president's speech, I had to look at it at two levels. I come from a communications background. The reality is that you can't just solve a crisis when there's both an emotional element and a kind of a factual element with just facts alone. So what we need now is real data on testing. And I think Dagan had mentioned this earlier. You know, one of the key things that we need is to do more tests and begin that data about when has it really peaked in this country.
I mean, anyone who has a fever, frankly, we need to get to the point where, and this is about containment. If you have a fever, you can go get tested so the government health officials can see where the hot spots are in this country. And we are not even getting our hands around that to prevent the health system and the hospital system from being swamped with these cases. That's where we are. But continue, because this is about the economy.
Yeah, I mean, the test kits were broken. Is what happened. I mean, we sent out the test kits to the 50 states, and then the CDC called back and said, don't test because they're not effective, they're defective. And so there was that period of time when the rest of the world was doing testing, and we weren't. I mean, South Korea had a drive-through test. You know, China was allowing people to test at home. And there was all these other things, but now the tests are out and more tests are going out. So the administration seems to feel like we will soon get an accurate picture. But we are right in the belly of this right now, James. That's the problem.
And again, people should call a doctor first before showing up if they have a fever, if they think they might have something. But I worry, Curtis, about a response now that doesn't seem to have much cost-benefit analysis going on. Now, I realize that's difficult to do in the midst of a crisis, but we look at the economic costs every day in the markets. We look at Italy with this almost total lockdown. Italian banks have now been forced to essentially hold off on collecting debt payments. This is not necessarily a solution and ultimately, I mean, in terms of the whole world. So I do hope that factors into it as well.
And while, before you answer that, while we are waiting to see some serious solutions, it's all leading to a serious slowdown expectation here.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we had Heyman Capital founder Kyle Bass on the show, and here's what he said about recession. Watch this. You have to believe that the U.S. is also going to see a real impact. You think we'll see recession this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's somewhat inevitable for us to go from +2 to an annualized run rate in the first quarter or second quarter of kind of -2, whereas maybe the year will be flat, maybe the year will be slightly down. I mean, I don't, you know, when you hear Lagarde say that this is something that is approaching a 2008 crisis, that may be true in Europe. It's not true in the United States because we recapitalized our entire banking system and Europe hasn't. So I think it's important to draw distinctions between borders when we're talking about the effects of a crisis like this.
But you did just say that you are expecting a recession. I mean, you're talking about global recession or recession in the United States?
I think both.
Curtis, your reaction.
You know, I'm not going as far as he's going. Clearly, we're going to have a slowdown. But I think the work, not just of our U.S. government, but also the role of businesses and individuals will hopefully help push back any chance for a recession anytime soon. Clearly, there's going to be a slowdown. But I don't think we're headed to a recession anytime soon.
Can I point out really quickly some good news, Curtis Chen? So yesterday, the Mortgage Bankers Association doubled its refinancing forecast for this year, doubled it, now expecting $1.2 trillion in refinancings. Mortgage applications at roughly an 11-year high. People are flooding the mortgage lenders to the point that they're actually raising rates to try and slow down the demand for refi. That ultimately puts money in people's pockets if they have work interruption. For
I was going to say it's probably too soon for me. I'm always Mr. Optimist and talk about the good news, but actually there will be some positive things ultimately that come out of this, including how we rethink that relationship between employers and employees. Should they be paid or not paid when they have sick leave? I think there's going to be a rush to think through how can we better incorporate things like working from home, things like can we better use telemedicine.
And also these rock bottom rates. I mean, these rock bottom rates are obviously creating some real demand and a refi boom. So we'll be watching that. Curtis, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much. Curtis Chen joining us there.